Good Sunday morning, unsportsmanlike conduct fans. I want to thank all you that took the time out to subscribe to the show, clicked on, looked at the website, looked around, seen what was going on. I also want to thank all of you for tuning in to the show this morning. There's a lot of, for all of you that were around for the last show, you're going to see a lot of changes in the things that are talked about. Different formats. Unsportsmanlike conduct there's nothing off limits on this show. Nothing. Well, I say there's nothing off limits that are sports related. Now, we're not going to talk about that stuff that's going on at the university right now. I'm not going to talk about it. It's not going to be any part of the show. I'm not going to take any questions. None of that. I didn't talk about it with any of the guests. It's just not something that we're going to talk about. This isn't a gossip show. This isn't the local rag, whatever it is, whatever rag you watch or listen to. It's not that. This is sports talk, period. If it's sports related, then there's nothing off limits. This is unsportsmanlike conduct. 15 yards every time. So keep that in mind. There's nothing off limits. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl, the Lions, Tigers, Spartan Hoops, and the Big Ten East, Big Ten football, but primarily the best division in all of football, the Big Ten East. We got to talk about all that. We also have all new guests this year, and a lot of Spartans have taken the time out of their schedule to do the show with me so far. And Paul Davis, Charlie Bell, Herb Haygood, Flozell Adams, Marquez Wedlow, Mill Coleman. I got a bunch of guys that come out and do the show with me in the studio, just having fun, chopping it up. So tune in all year. You'll be able to interact with a lot of the with stuff that's going on with the show. Also, you can click on and send an email with your question on it on the webpage. Just go to the webpage and you can send that email. Or at the bottom of the page, there's a chat with us tab, and you can get right on there and you can chat live with me, and you can share whatever you have, and I'll make sure that it gets on the show. Also, if those two ways don't work for you, you can follow me at Real Matt Geller on Twitter, or Spartan Dog 71 on IG. There's lots of things that we got to cover this morning. We only have an hour, so we got to get right into this. The Detroit Lions. I just got to let that sink in for a minute. The Detroit Lions. This is a failure. Okay. In September of 2017, the Detroit Lions re-signed Jim Caldwell to a new contract. Re-signed him. He signed. At the end of a 9-7 season, they fired Jim Caldwell. So let's just say, for the sake of this discussion, that they hire Matt Patricia as their head coach. They are on the hook for whatever length of contract, whatever dollar amount that the Detroit Lions will have to pay Matt Patricia. As well as they're on the hook for Jim Caldwell for 2 more years. So that $4, $5, $6, $7 million, whatever it is, that could have went for another free agent because of their poor management, their front office poor management. They are going to be owing Jim Caldwell that $4, $5, $6, $7 million that could have went for D tackle or an end. Well, that could have went for a player. But their poor management, their management is so bad that they make decisions like this, and the fans just sit back and I'm like, whatever. Listen, everybody's excited about Matt Patricia. You know what? It never seems to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me the way the Detroit Lions fans are so excited when every football season starts. They already, because they're 0-0, everybody thinks that this is the year. This is the year. As opposed to the 47 years I've been on the planet and have never seen the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. Been in one NFC championship game and got clowned by the Washington Redskins. And it just in every season, Detroit Lions, this is our year. I get it from everybody. Everywhere I go, Detroit Lions, this is our year. Oh, well, let's look at some of these things. First of all, we talked about the money aspect with Jim Caldwell. Ridiculous. Their front office is embarrassing. But let's just talk about the decision for a coach. They have waited for the New England Patriots to finish so that they could have the excitement of Matt Patricia. Okay, Bill Belichick is widely known as the greatest NFL football coach of all time. You are hiring his assistant. Now, Bill Belichick is known for his defense, and you're hiring his defensive coordinator to be the head coach of your team. You literally don't know what you're getting. No one even knows what they're getting. Matt Patricia has been the defensive coordinator in New England since 2009. In that time, he has coordinated 2 Super Bowls. Won both of those Super Bowls. So you're like, this is a great coach. Okay, pump your brakes. The New England Patriots in 2014 got a gift because Darrell Bevell's an idiot and decided to throw a pass on 1st and goal from the 1 instead of handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch. New England gets a Super Bowl. In 2017, the 28-3 lead to Atlanta. No matter what happened in the second half, and Tom Terrific did bring them back, and they did win the game, whatever. But 28 points in the first half. That defense. Now, what happened was, I know it as well as you know it. Bill Belichick went back in there and said, look, that stuff you're doing is not working. Well, we're going to try this stuff my way because my legacy's on the line. So it would not have shocked me to believe that Matt Patricia was stripped of what he was doing and his game plan, and we just started all over because my boss is the greatest football coach in the history of the National Football League. So now, Detroit Lions fans, that's what you're getting. Nobody knows. Literally nobody knows. And we are waiting on everything that's Detroit Lions for a coordinator to come and be our head coach that has no head coaching experience. Detroit Lions. Again, this is perfect. This fits in perfectly with the narrative that's Detroit Lions. Now, I went on their website and I found the top 10 free agent signings in Detroit Lion history according to their site. Number 10, Ray Roberts. I don't know. Number 9, Broderick Thomas. Now, a lot of you won't remember Broderick Thomas because it was 20 years ago, but Broderick Thomas was a serviceable linebacker for the Detroit Lions. Well, he wasn't Lawrence Taylor or he was no dominant linebacker, but he was good. He was good. So, number 9. Number 8, Stephen Tullett, who is a banger. I love the way he plays. No longer with the team, of course, but whatever. He was good while he was there. Number 7, Henry Thomas. Number 6, offensive lineman Bill Fralick. I don't even know who that is. I am a sports junkie. I have no idea who Bill Fralick is. Number 6 on their all-time free agent signing list. Number 5, running back James Stewart was a good running back. He was a good running back, not a Pro Bowl running back. He was a good running back. Number 5. Number 4, Dave Craig. David Craig. Number 3, Golden Tate. Now, let me say something about Golden Tate. Golden Tate was brought in to be the number 2. He was the number 2 option for the Detroit Lions. Calvin Johnson, Megatron was there, and Detroit Lions bring in Golden Tate to be the number 2. Megatron leaves, Golden Tate is promoted to number 1. You cannot make a number 2 a number 1. You can't do it. Golden Tate is not a number 1 receiver. He's not going to get number 1 coverage, none of that. So this is more of what's embarrassing about the Detroit Lions and their front office. Number 2, Glover Quinn. Glover Quinn likes contact. He likes to bang. I respect that. I always like that about guys. But that's number 2 on your list. And the number 1 free agent signing of all time for the Detroit Lions, when he was done with his career at St. Louis, he was washed up. The Detroit Lions brought him in and made him their featured DB, Dre Bly. This is the Detroit Lions, fans. You need to understand this. This is the Detroit Lions. 44 years I was a Detroit Lion fan. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to follow them. I went through the heartache, And one day I just said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're not going to keep doing this stuff and going through the emotions of being excited about a season like we are every year, and then come down to the end and finish 9-7 and 7-9, 8-8, and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. That's the goal of the Detroit Lions and their front office. Matt Millen and everybody that Bill Ford won't sign the checks. There's a reason why people don't want to come to Detroit. There's a reason. Now, we as fans might not know that reason, but you know good and well that Barry Sanders, who is the greatest running back this league has ever seen, in his prime, walked away from the Detroit Lions. There is a reason why one of the most dominant wide receivers in Megatron walked away from the Detroit Lions. There is a reason why the best signing in the last 5 years for the Detroit Lions free agent signing was Reggie Bush. No one wants to play in Detroit. Ndamukong Suh, who literally commanded a double team on every single play, was on this roster and walked away and signed a free agent contract. And people think that it was like, oh, it was the money. Well, it was like $3 million. No one wants to play in Detroit, people. Nobody. I need you to understand that. Nobody. No free agents are coming to Detroit. The difference between the National Football League, you remember Chip Kelly tried to institute this. It's not the players, it's the scheme idea in Philly. And, of course, we know how that worked out for him. He got rid of everybody. LaShawn McCoy. He got rid of everybody. Just ran them all out of town. And then they proceed to stink. And then they've got to be built back up. See, Detroit lacks talent. They don't have the talent to compete with these other teams. And we're like, we're right there. No, you're not right there. If the Detroit Lions played Philly right now, if they played New England right now, if they played the Los Angeles Rams right now, these playoff teams, they're getting punished. And people just don't see that. They don't have the talent for this. They don't have the pedigree. The Detroit Lions do not have the pedigree to be in the same breath with these perennial contenders year after year. Listen to this. The Lions have raised ticket prices the last 5 years. Okay, so what you're telling me is we stink year after year. 7-9 in 2013, no playoffs. 2014, 11-5, lost in the divisional round to the Cowboys. So, which, by the way, tied the all-time record for most postseason losses by any team in the NFL. So, good job on that, Lions. 2015, they go 7-9 losing record. They're terrible. Whatever. 2016, they make the playoffs at 9-7. If you remember, they were 9-4, and everybody's like, Super Bowl, rah, rah, rah. They lose their last 3 games, all home game, to that discount double check at home with a chance to win the division. Can't get it done. Go to the 12s in Seattle and just get smacked around by that defense up there. 26-6, which set the record for the all-time most losses, consecutive losses by one organization in NFL postseason history. Set the record. So again, this is a record-breaking organization. So don't make it. I props where props are due, you know. And then again this season, 9-7, and obviously no playoffs, which brings their grand total to 43-37 over the last 5 years. And the last playoff win was in 1991. 1991 was the last playoff win. This is ridiculous. And you raise the prices? This is what you're telling me. Like, this is the equivalent to going to a restaurant and the Detroit Lions are whatever good restaurant you want. And you get in there and they say, well, since the last time you were here, we've jacked these prices up. And I got to tell you, the food's not good. The service is really bad. And this is really an overall